Lesson only mode.
Hey everyone, welcome to this PD in your PJ session. This is going to be a fast one. This is a sprint. So I only have 10 minutes with you today. I'm Angela. I am working with Seesaw full time, and I used to teach kindergarten and was seesawing like crazy in my kindergarten classroom. So I love to share great ideas with all of you teachers out there. So I was really excited when I was visiting Seesaw this summer, and they were started building the drawing tool features that we're going to talk about today. I was really excited because I knew as teachers in the classroom, you would be really excited too, as having another opportunity or a way for your students to share their learning. So let's get started. Where I'm going to start actually is the link that we have on our website that is going to show you a lot of the things I'm going through today. So if you want to check back in on it, I will send it with the recording of this webinar, but I also put it in the chat. So we do have text labels and all sorts of fun tools now in the drawing tool that is available on iOS and the web. And don't worry, Android is coming really soon. So on this portion of our help center is where you're going to find just the basic information about it. This is a demo of how it works on iOS and a quick demo of how it works on the web. But I'm actually going to go through that with you here today live. But this is also where you're going to find a lesson guide with more than 10 ideas of ways to implement these different, this new labeling and drawing feature in your classroom. So we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at that as well. So let's get started right away. I'm going to jump onto my iPad here, and this just gives you an idea. I'm in a Seesaw class right now, and there's just some examples here of how we have used the drawing tool, but I actually want to demonstrate how it actually works. Now, if you are on iOS, in order for this to show up, you need to have the latest version of Seesaw. So some people that don't see it showing up think something is going awry, but maybe they're in outdated version. So you can add text labels to photos or drawings, but today I'm going to grab something from my camera roll. So we just got back from a trip actually to the beach. So I'm going to start with this photo. So right now I'm just going to tap on the drawing icon here, and you'll see this T up here. If I tap, that's going to open my text box. So then I can type in my text. I could say beach if I want to label that. You'll notice that I can move it anywhere on the page. I can also tap on it again, and I can change the style. So I'm going to change the style right now. We have 8 preset styles available for you. So I love this coming from a shared device situation. So students could quickly kind of, choose what they like and go with it. You can also tap up here to custom and really, get in depth and change all sorts of things. So that might be something you explore as well, but we're going to keep it simple today, and I'm going to go with that style for this one. Again, I can also rotate this and make it bigger. If this is highlighted, I can also tap over here and just quickly change what the text appears like, but that looks good. If I want to start another label, I'm just going to tap anywhere on the screen and up pops my text box. So I might say this is the sand. And then again, if I make a mistake in how I'm typing, I could always tap edit, and that's going to send me in, to the text box to change the text. But that looks good to me. I'm going to go to style again. And again, here we are. I can choose any of these styles to go with. Another thing to note, because this is going to come up for you with your students, is that if you want to add a label, and let's say you want to have some emojis going on, or you're thinking, gosh, when is Seesaw going to get some stickers or something like that? Here you go. So you can use your emoji keyboard and add, whatever you'd like here. But I'm going to give you an insider tip. If you want this white background to disappear, you'll have to go to Style and then Custom. And then down here with transparency, you're going to want to turn that all the way to the right. So then that makes that text box, kind of the background, disappear. So if you're adding an emoji like that, that would show up without that white background. So now what's also cool on iOS is you can also record video while you're doing labels and talking. So for example, I can touch record and start my video recording, and I can move these around while I'm talking. I can say I want to delete this while I'm talking. I can do that. I can also down here, you'll notice on the bottom, this pointer. Now this pointer only shows up when you are recording on iOS. But if I tap that pointer, I'm able to, wherever I touch on the screen, it's going to allow me to point at that, which is really handy and nice. So I have sand, fish. Obviously, I'm going through a really basic example here. But you can also pause the recording and say, I want to add some drawing. I can still do that. I can, if I make a mistake, I can still erase and all of that. So that is all still there for you. And then I can also go back and continue my recording. Again, move things around just like you are used to if you're familiar with iOS. So we're hoping, this new opportunity with labels can give your students even more ways to share their learning. So that's just a basic run through of how it works on iOS. I want to show you quickly, if you are working from the web, it's very, very similar. So again, on this website, it's going to be 2 demo videos that you can check out. But I'm going to go into the same class, but now I'm showing you from the web right now. So I'm going to go to add, and I have my choices of what to add. But actually, I'm going to show you another site that I've discovered that I really love. It's called unsplash.com, and it has amazing high resolution photos that you can use for free, and you can use them for free, and Creative Commons is all good and all that. So great pictures. So what I'm going to do is I found a picture I like, and I'm going to download that photo, and it might take a little bit of time, so we'll see. But then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add that to our Seesaw class, and then I'm going to start adding the labels to it. Now, while that is downloading, I actually forgot to show you something really cool on iOS. So I'm going to go back to my iPad here for a second. If you're someone that's working with little people, I'm talking young students, this might come in handy for you. What you're also able to do on iOS is if you are using the text box, you're labeling text, creating a text label. Sorry, I'm trying to talk too fast. I'm so excited. You can actually, on the bottom left of your screen, right here, you'll see this little microphone. If I tap that, these are rocks. It will actually type the text as you're talking. So if you have little ones, depending on what, your goal is for the lesson or what they're creating, or if they're telling a story, that might be a nice feature for you to use as well, instead of trying to manage, typing on a keyboard. That always kind of terrified me with kindergartners doing that. So keep that in mind as well. I wanted to show you that trick quickly. So let's see if this picture is ready for me to add, because it is high resolution. So we'll see. So I just downloaded that. So I'm going to upload the file, and there it is. So now in my Seesaw class, if I want to label this, I just go to label. And again, this is on the web, what it looks like. So I can type in my labels. If I'm going to, owl, I don't know what else I'll type in here. But if you're labeling parts or things like that, again, similar, I can touch style, and some of the same styles you're going to see show up here. And then I'm also able to, the only difference you'll see is that you can't record and get that nice little pointer on the web, because, that's not something that's easily able to have happen on the web, is to record and talk at the same time. However, once you get this set up or labels added however you want, you can go to audio and then again, just start recording like you would. It just takes place on separate steps. So keep that in mind if you're working on the web. And what I want to do next quickly, we have a minute here to go, is I want to show you these ideas to get you started here. So this lesson guide is really ideas that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. So where do these come from? They're actually all in the Seesaw class right here that we have been playing in. So one of my favorites recently are these book snaps. So basically the idea is it's almost like a little quick book talk. So this is an example.
I highly recommend checking out the book Rosie Revere, Engineer, written by Andrea Beatty. You're going to love this story because it's about a strong character, a little girl named Rosie, and she designs and builds all sorts of things. And on this particular page, her aunt is talking to her, and she says, "Your brilliant first flap was a raging success." And I love that quote. And if you read further along here on
so you can see when I was doing this example, I did lots of things. I added text, I had some emojis, I used the recording, and that was done on iOS. So you're thinking, how did you do that, Angela? Guess what? It's all laid out for you in our lesson there of, how do you make that happen, the step by step. This is an example of, illustrating vocabulary with text labels. This was a keyword prediction activity that you might do. I know a lot of teachers do word sorts and things like that you might integrate. This was a student describing a math problem integrating the label features. This was a high school student talking about what they did for their dissection using the label feature. So again, this is a word sort. So there's all sorts of these things. This is explaining math. Super simple here, just reading a story and using the pointer. This is from Swift Playgrounds, if you're familiar with that on iOS. This is a screenshot of where the student got to and explaining where, what they hope to do next and adding, again, some of the labels to that. So you're thinking, that's wonderful. How do I make this happen? That's where you're going to find here in this lesson guide. Again, it will take you to the examples that I just quickly showed you, but then go step by step with how we actually created that on iOS or the web. So most of these examples here are based on iOS, but you'll see how you can easily bring them into the web as well. So I hope that you enjoy the newest drawing tool features in Seesaw, and we can't wait to see what you come up with and how your students start using this tool. We are happy to connect with you on Twitter. You can find us at Seesaw, or I'm at Mrs. Gadke. And please join our Facebook group, Seesaw Teachers, as well. Thanks for coming today, everyone.